Just making a big introduction. There, didn't coming. Sorry. Are we advancing the slides here, Alan?
Probably just the button down button's easiest.
There we go. Okay, so my name is Jeremy Nevin. I work for a company called Tackaberry Heating and Refrigeration Supplies. We are a small family-owned company with stores from Coburg to Cornwall. We've got 5 different stores. The owner of our company is still in the building, so we're a very down-to-earth company. My official title with the company is Design Services Manager. I wear a number of different hats in the company. One of them is ordering the toilet paper, so I'm probably the most important guy in the building. Some of the programs that we're involved with as of today: Lead for Homes, Greenhouse, Enter Guide for New Homes, Energy Star, as well as a number of different organizations we're involved with: the Ontario Building Officials Association here in Kingston, the Kingston Home Builders Association, the Quinte Home Builders Association, HRAI. So we review a broad spectrum of programs and services. Specifically to the design side of things, which is my specific department, we handle a lot of green building programs. Why do we want to design properly? We design everything from our house to our floor systems, to our trusses, to our septic systems. We even design our kitchens, even though they're not a structural component, they just have to look nice. We very rarely design our home to be energy efficient. If we're going to spend time to build a nice kitchen, take the time, pay somebody to design it, why are we not doing the same thing for the energy efficiency of our homes? We have a tendency to say, well, my house is built to the Ontario Building Code standard. I prefer to state that as your house is built to bare minimum standard. That is the starting point. So some of the things that we need to look at is this concept of house as a whole. This is a concept in the building science community. It has been kicked around for a long time, but it's just kind of finally starting to coalesce. The house as a whole takes into account all parts of it: how they interact, how energy efficient a home and the products in the home are, the building programs that are involved to get to that point, and the comfort level that's required from the home. Or some of us have different concept of comfort. My house in particular is kept at about 63 degrees. My wife and 4 daughters don't like me, but it's comfortable. And code compliance. Everything we do has to meet code. The Ontario Building Code has just entered in, as of recently, brought out Part 12, Resource Conservation, which has allowed us a lot of latitude. I personally live in a yurt. I'm the guy in the yurt. So that was only able to be permitted because of Part 12. And things like this are allowing us a lot more different avenues to go on that will incorporate so much of what you're hearing about today. So the house as a whole concept, and this is one of the biggest points. All systems in a home affect one another in some capacity. The overhangs of your home affect your cooling load. How many of us have taken our architectural plans or our existing home and looked at it and said, what's my sun angle during the summer solstice? And am I protecting against those heat gains? We can drop almost a ton out of the average design if we orient the house properly and put proper overhangs on. That in itself just reduces the requirement for the energy that you're going to try to produce now. Equipment efficiencies affect your energy requirements. If you're north of the city and you're on propane or oil, how much are we going to have to store to get you through times where you might not be able to get delivery? Your finishes can affect indoor air quality. Off-gassing of carpets and products and all these chemicals that we bring into the home are a major contributor to people's health nowadays. There's things on the product: milk paint, VOC-free. There's formaldehyde-free cabinets from IKEA. So they're all there, and they're actually all quite affordable now. Ventilation affects your building durability. Your vapor barriers affect your indoor air quality. Your solar thermal systems might affect your building requirements. If we're putting a nice big solar thermal system on your roof, has anybody thought about the loads? Is the wind production going to affect our structural loads if we've got a tower up against the house? How is that adding load to the home? And your air pressures can affect life systems. And this is a personal point of mine that I really like to drive home. I have a beautiful wood stove in my house. I paid all kinds of money to have this nice thing in there. It's efficient. I've done the right thing. I've now gone out and got this wonderful JennAir for my kitchen. It's going to suck 1200 CFM. The kids go by, up the JennAir they go. We turn that on, that chimney now goes backwards. And there are not too many programs or building officials out there that are specifically checking on that. Whenever I get a chance, I try to bring that up. So all kinds of things can happen if we don't look at the house as a whole. Deaths, like I just talked about. There's companies are cropping up to deal primarily with building problems. Sick Building Solutions is a company out of Toronto. This particular home here, you can see, if I design you a heating system and I don't take the air out of the room that I'm putting back into the room, and you close the door, you pressurize that room, we drive warm, moist air out through the cracks and the holes, we create mold on the side of the house. That house in particular is a 2-year-old home. That's a Terrain warranty claim. And that is actually more common than you'd like to think, because most of it's still covered up. Same slide as what you've just seen. 60-80% of our energy use in the house is a direct result of space heating, cooling, and hot water heating. So we can do all these wonderful things, produce our own photovoltaic energy, wind power, we can do solar thermal heating. If we're not keeping it in the house that we're putting it in, what's the point? It's always easier to save a kilowatt than make a kilowatt, and that is so, so true. If you don't believe me, come on out to my place and we'll live off-grid for a while. Building programs and grants. The last count I heard somewhere in the range of 92, 96 programs out there. This is just a small sample of some that are out there. They're all great programs, and I encourage you to tap into whatever ones you can, whether it's the renovation market, a new home market. All the programs that you see up here and any other ones that you hear of all reward energy efficient products and energy efficient design. So really all we're saying with all these programs is build smart, folks. Save your money, keep it in your pocket down the road. We could really take all these programs and throw them out, especially on the new home market, because there is no financial incentive for them, and just say, let's build it right. So that's the end of my presentation.